Here are 3 simple steps you can take right now to letting go of any resentment that you've been lugging around for months, years maybe, and finally create the life, create the freedom that you deserve. Okay, so the first point I want to make is awareness. Are you aware of your resentment? Okay, is that feeling that you get inside your gut, inside your chest, or in your heart of anger and frustration? What is that a result of? Who is triggering that? After my last ex, after we broke up 2 months after, she and a very, very close friend of mine, one of the boys, got together in an intimate way. Maybe they hooked up, I think. But they were seeing each other, and it made me so angry. That day when I found out, I was so upset. I was so frustrated. All I wanted to do was fight and yell at both of them and tell them how painful it was and how much they hurt me. Okay? And weeks after, I held all this resentment for both of them, people that were still in my life as friends at the time. Okay? I couldn't let go of this resentment. I became familiar with this resentment. It protected me, and it might be protecting you too. Okay? Do you have an ex that you resent? I know we can all relate to this in some form. Do you have a boss, a bully, a friend, a girl you've been rejected by that you resent, a family member, a dad who didn't take care of you that you resent? We all have someone we resent. And if you don't, congratulations. But for those of us who do, are you aware of it? Are you aware of who and why? Okay, that's just the first step. Easy. Okay, you've understood that you are resenting someone or something, and there's a trigger. Great. That's where we move on to step number 2, which might sound crazy, but bear with me. And this is understanding their pain points. Just taking a moment to understand. Because here's the truth, guys. The truth is, no one's actually evil in this world, okay, except a few people. But if you really think about it, no one wants to be evil. No one wants to hurt people. People only hurt because they've been hurt in some capacity. They're more likely than not simply passing down the pain that they were experiencing as a kid from their father figure or something. You got to understand that. It's not them and you. There's a whole string of people attached to this, more likely than not. When I found out that my bully in high school, who bullied me every day, called me names, called me skinny, called me a twig, called me very racist things, made fun of my height. When I found out that his father was abusing him, verbally, maybe physically too, that is when I realized, wow, this person is hurting too. This person is hurting me the same way that they are being hurt. So think about it. The person you might be resenting might just be going through a very similar experience, and they're just simply projecting that on you. And I'm not here to tell you that it's okay, because it's not. There's no excuse for it. You are the consequence of that? Absolutely not. But if you could begin to understand that these are people who are hurting as well, more likely than not, that is where we move on to step number 3, and that is creating your own epiphany. And what does that mean? That can mean so many things. For me, when I realized my bully was being bullied or abused, my epiphany was, wow, this has nothing to do with me. It is all a reflection of them, of him. And because of that, I feel more capable of letting go. Do you see what I'm getting at here? You kind of create your own permission to let go at some point, because you realize it had nothing to do with you. And in fact, all the resentment that you carry is actually you. It's a creation of you. Now, what do I mean by that is you have a choice. And if you are choosing to resent, You are choosing to carry these negative emotions with you. When I realized that my ex and my very close friend who were getting together, once I realized he didn't have a father figure in his life, which probably explained why his behavior was so malicious, and she was a very insecure person and couldn't be vulnerable with her family, especially after we broke up, that is when I could take a step back and I can understand that these people are just simply hurting. Okay? Which again doesn't make it okay, but I could step back and say, you know what? My epiphany to this is these people do deserve each other. If they are willing to disrespect me so much as to get together right after we break up, then by all means, it's a reflection of their hurting. And I no longer have to carry this resentment because it's got nothing to do with me. The one takeaway you need to have from this is until you learn to let go and forgive, but not forget, you will forever be a prisoner of resentment. You are giving them, him, your boss, your mom, your dad, your little brother, the power. They are taking the power from you. And it is only until you can learn to forgive and let go that you can retrieve that freedom back. Anyways, thanks guys for watching. If you like this, if any of this resonated with you and you found inspiration behind this, go ahead and share it with someone and I'd really appreciate it, okay? And I'll see you in the next one.